Already in GST we have discussed many current affair topics. Okay, so one of those GST current affair topic is in relation to what is called as National Anti-Profiteering Authority. So when we discuss the concept of GST, we discuss the concept of input tax credit, right? Did we discuss input tax credit? What is this input tax credit? Because see, GST is a value added tax. GST is a value added tax. So since GST is a value added tax, the cascading effect will not be there. Cascading effect means tax on tax will not be there. And this VAT or cascading effect have been eliminated because of the input tax credit. What is input tax credit? Whereby when you pay tax in the output, in the final stage when you pay tax, if you have already paid tax during input stage, you can claim it as credit. So you can reduce the input tax you have already paid and the remaining amount only you have to pay as output tax. So thereby the product manufacturer or the service provider, his tax burden will be lesser. So when due to the implementation of GST, where we have the concept of VAT, where it has eliminated cascading effect, the natural consequences for many products which comes under GST is that the price will come down. Why the price will come down? Because the tax is now lesser. Tax is lesser due to there is no cascading effect, there is no tax on tax. Earlier there it used to be. So it is the responsibility on the manufacturer or the service provider to reduce that tax burden, to reduce it to the prices, the cost of the prices. Mainly this is applicable to manufactured goods, not to the raw materials. Okay, so in 2018 what has happened is that many companies have not reduced the product price even after the GST council. So what happened? Two things have happened. One is, naturally there will be a reduction in the prices due to input tax credit, and plus I told you GST council for many products GST council have reduced the tax rate. Okay, we have seen that in the case of air conditioner, from 28% it has reduced to 18%. Washing machine. So there have been the charges, there is a concept called as white goods. White goods means all these consumable goods which we use it for household. Air conditioner, fridge and all this comes under it. Okay. So many components tax rate have been reduced by the sender or on the recommendation of the GST council. And even after the reduction in the tax rate, the prices of those commodities have not come down. So there have been cases against Hindustan Lever, cases against Patanjali. So many famous brands have been in news in relation to 2018. Why? On the sense that there is a separate body, a statutory body is there under the GST, where its function is to ensure that the consumer benefits with the reduction in prices, either by the GST movement, GST council decision, or by the natural input tax credit mechanism. Okay, so in order to ensure that the price, see, try to understand that normally we have seen that which all country where GST have been introduced, there have been high inflation. So try to understand that how GST result in inflation in the initial stages. Because many of the, for example, if you have seen that in the case of services, so the service tax used to be 15%. So most of the there is no 15% tax slab is not there. You get the point? Service tax before GST was 15% plus cess and other things. But there is no 15% tax slab. So all the 15% services were included under 18% tax slab under GST. So then naturally there will be an increase. So there have been many products moved in when, see, earlier those taxes which comes under 15% category moved to 18%. Somewhere who are coming under 22 were put under 28 category. You get the point? So initially when GST was implemented, there have been natural increase in the initial prices. Now GST council is rectifying that. So initially there will be, when you introduce GST, there will be a price increase. When there is price increase means there will be inflation. So one of the primary aim of this National Anti-Profiteering Authority is to control that inflation due to introduction of GST, so that it will look into those products where any products which influences inflation. You getting the point? Any product. So there, we'll discuss that. Try to understand that when we'll cover inflation, I'll discuss in detail why certain products inflation is influencing, because there are not all commodities is important for us as a consumer. Certain products which we consume most, that will be having higher weightage. Okay, these white goods now is having higher weightage, because now as your income increases, your dependency on white goods increases. Now everybody, first thing, earlier every child individual want to have a smartphone. Smartphone became our, even if your income is 10,000, you want to have a 25,000 phone. Okay, now small, even if you have a rented home, very, very hot means you cannot sleep, you require one AC at least. Everybody will sleep in one room, but you require an AC. Without a washing machine, your mother will not do the washing, or you require a servant. So better go for a washing machine. Okay, so like that, these goods have become very part of our, especially our urban society. I'm talking about, slowly and gradually this will move to rural also as their income increases. Okay, so that's why in the 2018 news regarding, if you just type National Anti-Profiteering Authority, in 2018 itself there are lot of news. All these makes this topic very important for you. Okay, so they will not ask you which company they have taken action. They will ask you what is this body, how it is constituted, what is its objective, etc. Okay, so first to understand that this body is created under the Central GST Act. Central GST Act 2017. So this body is a statutory body because it is created by a parliamentary law. So be very careful, okay. So this body is an institutional mechanism under GST to check unfair profit making. We discussed that, but it's a statutory body. It's not mentioned in the material. You can write down. It is a statutory body created under the Central Goods and Service Tax. Okay. All these points we have discussed. Okay, what it will do in relation to reducing the prices. Okay, so it has the power. Okay, so it's first we'll see that the composition of this authority. It contains 5 members. And normally a senior government servant who will be given a rank of the secretary to the government of India. So the ranking of the chairman of this authority, he will be having the rank of a secretary to, he is not the secretary to the government of India, he is having the same rank of he will get all the privileges of the secretary to the government of India, who the chairperson of national. And there will be 4 technical members. So 5 members will be there, a chairman, and 4 technical members. 4 technical members can be from the center and the state. Okay, and this 5-member committee, see, in order to select them, there will be this chairman and 4 other members are selected by a 5-member committee headed by cabinet secretary. Try to understand that. So there is a search committee to select this 5-member committee, and this search committee is headed by cabinet secretary, and the other members are revenue secretary is there because it is related with GST, and this revenue secretary is in news. Why? He was added to a particular Financial Stability and Development Council. What is the reason government said? Introduction of GST. Okay. Then CBSE chairman, that is the excise, presently the board of presently GST comes under this board, and then 2 states chief secretary. Okay, so just have an idea. So initially this is for 2 years, this body will be for 2 years. The government may extend it because still it is, the law says that we require it for 2 years. Okay, so GST have not completed 2 years. So the government will decide it to extend it or not. There is a high possibility that it will extend for another 2 years. Why? There have been many cases and national they are in use like anything. So, and the age limit is 62. All these things, just go through it. Okay. Now this figure will help you just have an idea how, if a consumer have any complaints against a manufacturer. Okay, try to understand that now GST is both a center and a state tax. Now you cannot say that GST is exclusively for center. exclusive for state. Both is having equal importance. We have discussed in detail about GST. Okay. So if any consumer is having any complaints, normally there are two committees is there to help. So a consumer is not directly going to National Anti-Profiting Authority. Normally he goes to a committee what is called as State Screening Committee. So if you have any complaints against a manufacturer regarding reduction of prices, you can go to State Screening Committee and lodge a complaint. And this State Screening Committee will look into the complaint against the particular company. And if it feels that there is a genuine complaint, is there, this is a prima facie, there is a profiteering happening in relation to this particular product or company's product, it will refer to a central committee, what is called a standing committee. So, two committees is there, State Screening Committee and a standing committee. State Screening Committee means it is there for all the states. Every state is having a State Screening Committee, and also there is a central committee, what is called a standing committee. Normally it is the second tier. But for certain products, you can directly, customer can, for certain products which is having all India nature, no need to go directly, you can directly approach the central standing committee, okay. And see both, so normally it goes to State Screening Committee, goes to the standing committee, and standing committee again look into it. And if both, normally if this is happening through state, it will, after if it also confirms it, then it will go for investigation. Investigation will be done by the Director General of Safeguards. Okay, Director General of Safeguards is there in Commerce Ministry also, but this ministry, Director General of Safeguards is under the Finance Ministry, especially coming under the Central Board of Excise and Customs. Okay, so now it is called as Indirect Taxes, Central Board of Indirect Taxes. Okay, why? Because now GST is there. Okay, now there is no excise because it has been integrated into GST. Okay, so once the committee, screening committee, either the State Screening Committee or mainly after the State Standing Committee, which is a central committee, confirms there is profiteering, it will send for investigation. And investigation, see, all these things are not done by National NAA. See, all National NAA comes later. Okay, so after the investigation, so this Director General of Safeguards, which is under the Finance Ministry, submits the report. Okay, it submits the report after the investigation to the NAA, and then NAA, after getting the report, based on that, it will decide the case. It will say that okay, we have seen that you have made these profits from these actions, so this is the fine for you. Okay, and that benefit will normally have to be given to the customer, or if it can't be given to the customer, a separate fund have been created where to that fund, Consumer Welfare Fund, that to that fund the money will be transferred if there is no one to collect it. Means if there is confusion regarding where to whom to give or something like that. Okay, so this body structure, so you cannot go directly and approach whom? NAA. You have to go through this. This is the normal committee. Okay, normally it is State Screening Committee, but of national importance you can directly go to Standing Committee. But Standing Committee have to give a report saying that okay, there have been truth in this case, so you please investigate. So after the investigation and submitting the report only, this case will be finally taken up by NAA. This 5-member body will be. So this very important, please go through it, okay, and read 1 or 2 articles regarding the some cases handled by NAA, so that you will have an idea regarding how NAA functions. Okay, so once all these things we have discussed, that figure helped us to explain, okay, so if undue benefit cannot be passed on to the recipient, it will be ordered to deposit in the Consumer Welfare Fund. So they can ask you, what is this Consumer Welfare Fund? From where this fund is coming? It is the fine imposed on the, to the anti-profiteering person. Okay, means if any company made a profit, and anti-profiteering actions will be taken by the NAA, and normally who have been affected to that money have to be given, but if it is not possible to do so, then that money will, that fine will go to the Consumer Welfare Fund, and it can be used for consumer welfare, especially campaign and other related activities.